My thoughts on commercial beekeeping, I'm not going to lie, this is essentially kicking my ass. 100-degree heat, uh, weird schedules, work, for 4 hours, take the afternoon off, and then work 8 hours at night. Been 3 a.m. for the last few mornings loading bees, moving them back here to the yard to be loaded for shipment to Wisconsin. I'm not ashamed to say it, it's kind of kicking my ass a little bit. Migratory beekeeping is a whole other animal. So, yeah, it's way different. There's a lot less beekeeping, more bee having. It's just moving bees. It's really that's 90% of the work here is moving bees. And I'm not sure it's for me, but I stick through it, meet my commitment, and then we'll take a look again. Talk to you later.
Hey everybody, it's 2:30 in the morning. We finished up. Sorry about that. We finished up loading that semi at exactly 1 a.m. Then we came back to the trailer and shot the shit, laughed about a lot of what happened tonight, and had a few beers. But it's 2:30 in the morning, and this was getting, quite the standard, I guess. But tonight was a rough one. Even my boss said this was probably the second meanest truckload of bees he's ever seen. I myself didn't volunteer for it, so I just sat back and pretty much watched. But we loaded the bees, and I was smoking bees and whatnot. But my boss loads them up. But when it was all said and done, my coworker and the truck driver, you have to go up and put this big netting tarp over the top. Well, all the bees are crawling all over the top of the truck, or the load of bees on the top of the pallets, and they were all getting stung up. I mean, bad stung. And the truck driver, he jumped down. He had bees crawling up his legs and everything else. So they jumped down. So my boss, they had duct taped their legs, so he went up there, and the funny thing was that the truck driver had the tarp, not tarp, it's a screen tarp, rolled out backwards, so they had to flip it over. When they flipped it over, all the bees that were on the bottom came up on the top, and they were up there, and the bees got to them, and they were stinging them everywhere. Living the dream. Again, it was probably 90 degrees, sweat, not a fun night whatsoever. I still love beekeeping. I really, really do. The migratory part of beekeeping has not been my cup of tea so far. And maybe it's because I started out, down here in Florida. But I've been moving bees so much, and it's so late at night. And it's from April. I didn't even start till May 1st, but they were doing it in April. You have to move bees out of the yards to loading yard, and from the loading yard it gets loaded onto the truck, and it takes 2 weeks of loading bees just to get a load of bees out to the loading yard to load on a big truck. And then once it gets to the destination, then it takes another 2 weeks to get all the bees out to yards up in Wisconsin. So you're always moving bees. And here's my point. Moving bees sucks. That's, there's what I've seen so far. I've been beekeeping, or I've been working for a commercial operation for roughly a month. I think as of tomorrow it will be a month. And we've moved bees 3 weeks out of 4. And another 3 days I've been honey extracting. Another couple of days we were putting boxes on and stuff like that. But And then I've also worked probably 20 days out of the past 21 days. It just depends on the day. I mean, some days you work 3 hours and then 4 hours in the morning, and then you take a break, and then you work 8 hours at night. And so you can't do anything, as far as your home, or you can't plan anything because you've got to go to work again. It takes a certain breed of individual. Now, everybody that's here working with me is in the exact same boat I am. So I am not complaining about that I'm getting overworked or anything like that. It has nothing to do with it. My boss he's really pretty cool guy. Actually, for a kid, for being 25 years younger than me, he's really, and he knows what he's doing to a T. I mean, he operates that loader and he stacks pallets of bees, 6 pallets high of hives of bees. It's just amazing watching him work. I don't know if I could ever get to that point. I mean, he's 27 and he's already got it mastered, and he's just confident. He just does it. And he works absolutely as hard as everybody else. So it's not one of those bosses that just barks orders and then goes inside and, does whatever. He works right alongside with everybody else. So that's not it. It's just, is the commercial beekeeping for me, myself. I'm 54 years old, man. I'm not getting any younger. The physical aspect of it, honestly, was surprisingly easier than I thought. It's physical, don't get me wrong. I'm up to the task. The heat has kicked my ass. I'm not going to lie to you. It's absolutely kicked my ass. And what has kicked my ass worse is the schedule. Like I said, you wake up, you can wake up at a normal time, and you're not even waking up early in the morning. Let's say you wake up at 8 o'clock. But, you wake up at 8 o'clock, you're at work at 8:30. You work till, let's say, noon, 1 o'clock. Then you might get off until 5 or 6 at night, maybe 7. But then you got to load bees from 7 o'clock until 3 in the morning. All right. And then again, you got to get up in 5 hours, and do it again and do it again. And and you just sit there and you're looking ahead and you're like, this really is never ending, because we're sending bees to Wisconsin and we don't have to rush back to go unload them because he's hired somebody to unload them for us. But they're going to be sitting there. And we have to get those bees out to the yards, and the only time to get bees out to the yards is early in the morning or late at night, or when they stop flying in the evening, because you don't want to lose your field force. And again, you load a couple loads of bees. I mean, I have to drive an hour to work, when I get back, and hang around all day and then load bees at night. That's the schedule that I just don't know if I can keep up. I love beekeeping, I really do. But this migratory thing, I kind of like having my bees in a yard and just keep bees. This is more bee having, I guess you could say. It's all about getting the honey and everything else, but I like the beekeeping aspect of it more than the bee having aspect of it. So anyways, I just wanted to give you a sort of a peek in. You can tell I'm kind of exhausted here. Peek in of what commercial migratory beekeeping is like. I think, I'll be honest with you, I think between the driver, my boss, and my coworker, they probably all got stung 60 times tonight. I might have gotten stung a dozen times myself, but I was on the ground. I didn't get stung anywhere near what they got stung, because they were up on the top of the load of bees on the semi. Man, brutal. I just live in the dream, I'm just like, I just keep shaking my head going, is this really something that I really, really want to do? I keep coming back to the fact that I just don't see myself doing this. And I don't know if they're going to try to talk me into staying or what, but man, I don't know. We'll see. To be continued, as they say. So, okay. Until next time, happy beekeeping.